baseball bonds that cannot be broken. Programs full of history and traditions, fueled by grit. Baseball funds by Wings well known. From the brightest stars in Major League Baseball to right here. Our passion family extends to generations of supporters who faithfully cheer us on game after game. We hear you, we see you, we thank you.
check. Check. 1, 2. Good afternoon and welcome in Virginia Baseball here on News Radio. We're here on Virginia Sports YouTube TV as we're set for Game 2 of NC State and Virginia. Adam Hawes coming to you here from Doak Field at Raleigh, North Carolina, where the Hoos are taking on the Wolfpack in Game 2. Yesterday, the Cavaliers get an 8-6 victory late last night here in Raleigh to take Game 1. And we're underway in game number 2 as Virginia, the visitors, are at the bat now. This is a ground ball to the left side off the bat of Eric Becker, and that is foul down the left field side. So Virginia, after last night, they've moved to 7-6 in conference play, and now looking to pull themselves into another series victory here. And they'll be doing it against NC State this afternoon. Aiden Teal walked, first batter faced by Heath Andrews on the mound. There's a close pitch just off the outside corner for Becker. That brings his count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. A 4-pitch walk for Heath Andrews on the mound starting today for NC State. The Wolfpack in white, Virginia in blue as the road team today. As Andrews throws over to get Teal at the bag, but he steps back safely. Virginia trying to get something going here early. They came from behind last night as the Wolfpack got off to a 4-1 lead before Virginia would score 7 straight runs. NC State would play 2 in the 9th, but it wasn't enough. Cavaliers would hold on for the victory. And now Becker has worked the count full after the last pitch from Andrews was in the dirt and low. Teal will get his lead off of first base. Aiden Teal, 6 stolen bases this season, tied for the most of any Virginia player. And there's another throw over from Andrews, a righty on the mound today for NC State, so certainly looking to maybe be a little more aggressive in holding those base runners on. They may be looking to go with the righty today. Becker is the batter still, and he lines this one towards left center. That's going to get down, hit and run, executed to perfection. Teal is going to stop at third, but Becker's got a single, and Virginia's got 2 base runners here with nobody out here in the top of the first inning. Teal running on the pitch there, full count. Maybe taking a little bit of a risk, but with someone who can handle the bat as well as Eric Becker. He trusted him, and he delivers. Teal goes first to third. Becker stands at first after the game's first hit, and Henry Ford will dig in here for Virginia. Alex Sosa, first up, will come out from behind home plate to give the signs to the infield. Henry Ford this season for Virginia, batting .362, tied, or he was, until that last at bat, with Eric Becker for the team lead in hits. Gets a breaking ball here and fouls it into the netting, and it's 0-1. Ford, last night for the Cavaliers in that 8-6 victory, was 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored. No RBIs for him, though, so he could pick up his first of the series here this afternoon. Heath Andrews out of the stretch, deals Ford, ground ball towards short, could be 2. The run is going to score, but it is a 6-4-3 tailor-made double play for the Wolfpack. However, Aiden Teal scores the game's first run, and that means Virginia's on top here, 1-0. Maybe not exactly how Ford would have wanted to get that run home, but at the very least, Virginia has taken a 1-0 lead. A hit, a walk, and a ground out. But 2 outs now, bases empty for Chris Arroyo. Arroyo, the leader in home runs for this Virginia team, takes a strike called at the knees there. 94 miles an hour. 2 outs in the inning now. Andrews making his 8th start of the season. Arroyo swings through a changeup at 87 miles an hour. Andrews, 7 starts, 35 innings pitched this season. He's allowed 16 earned runs, 29 strikeouts and 15 walks. Takes outside, Arroyo does, from Andrews. Chris Arroyo, 7 home runs, and also tied for the team lead now in RBIs with Eric Becker. Here's the 1-2, ground ball, right side, foul. And nice play, Matt Kirby over at first base on the Virginia coaching staff. Arroyo, those 25 RBIs tied with Becker, but 7 home runs have not been matched by anyone on this Virginia team. And this is hit high in the air, right field, shallow, now really on the edge of the outfield grass and infield dirt. It's Luke Nixon underneath it, making the grab for out number 3. Virginia gets a run, though. One comes home to score after a walk, a single, and a ground ball double play. Virginia has a 1-0 lead after the top half of the first inning. Evan Blanco to the mound when we return on Virginia Baseball. Virginia gets 1 run in the top half of the first inning on an RBI ground out from Henry Ford. 1-0 Cavaliers after the top of the first inning. And now pitching for Virginia, making his 6th start of the season. He's moved up to a day in the weekend rotation. Had been on Sunday, now on Saturday, trying to close out the series for the Cavaliers today. It's Evan Blanco, the lefty from Woburn, Massachusetts. Another opportunity for him on the mound as a weekend starter. He's 1-1 so far. He's only been able to go 16 1/3 innings thus far. Slowly making his way back from injury this season, as he was not full go when the Cavaliers started the year. Would have been the presumed Friday night starter, the role he was in most of last season. Jay Woolfolk pitching last night, Evan Blanco today, two of the most experienced arms on this Virginia pitching staff. Tomas Valinka is going to go tomorrow. 1-1 for Blanco, 4.96 ERA in those 6 appearances and 5 starts. 16 strikeouts to just 4 walks, 9 earned runs on 25 hits. Virginia looking to maybe play a little bit cleaner baseball today, whose 3 errors last night, the 14 hits, luckily we're able to make up for it. Here is the first offering from Blanco to Ty Head, and he takes a ball, 1-0. Ty Head had a great night last night and is rewarded by moving up in the batting order today for head coach Elliott Avent. Here's the 1-0. And outside that time. Blanco sitting in the low 90s. That's where he'll live with that fastball velocity, but he'll mix in changeups and breaking balls as well. Looking out over the mitt into that windup, and finally gets a strike called. Ty Head had been waiting all at bat to see one, and waiting one more. Doesn't pick up the bat, but it's 2-1. Ty Head, the center fielder, true freshman, batting .296 this season for NC State. And there's a drive high in the air, deep to right. Ford at the track and at the base of the wall is going to reach up and make a grab. I think Head thought he got all of that one based on the bat flip, but Ford stands at the wall and just underneath the North State Bank scoreboard there makes the catch for out number 1. And Evan Blanco looked like he needed a new pitch comm there. Well, Head put a pretty good drive into that one, but it's allowed out number 1. And now it'll be Josh Hogue, the number 2 hitter. Mostly the same lineup today for Elliott Avent, save for the top of the order there. Also a change in the DH. That's a slider that Hogue can't get to. So Luke Nixon and Ty Head essentially swapping places in the lineup. Nixon batting 7th today. Here's the 0-1 from Blanco. Sharp ground ball past the diving glove of Arroyo and down the right field line. Kicks into right. Ford's got to change direction, but he's on it quick enough that Hogue will stop at second. But that is a 1-out double for Josh Hogue. His second double in as many days here in this series. NC State's thinking about getting that run back here early in the first inning. Arroyo playing pretty close to the line. Laid out, but it just got by the glove there. Would have been tough for anyone to get to. And so Blanco will have to contend with the base runner now at second base, trying to hold his team's lead as Chris McHugh will bat now for NC State. And he hits this one in the air to right. It's just behind the first base bag, drifting into foul territory. And now back fair is Chris Arroyo making the grab for out number 2. So P3, and Arroyo able to get an out, and that's a big pitch from Blanco to get McHugh. Last at bat we saw McHugh, he put one into the right field bullpen, but Blanco gets him to pop out harmlessly there, and now it'll be Alex Sosa, the cleanup hitter. Sosa, great walk-up song for his last name there, but he walks up, and it's 2 outs here, bottom of the first inning. Sosa, an RBI last night for the Pack. He takes a first pitch strike. Last night's contest, Sosa 1 hit in 5 at-bats. It was a double to the left center field gap, though. And an RBI opportunity for him. His one last night gave him 22 on the season. There's a breaking ball that Sosa started the hands at, but could not commit to the swing and holds up, watches, strike 2. 0-2 here for Blanco, trying to work around that double from Hogue and keep his team's lead intact. And he gets him swinging, another breaking ball, chasing just off the plates. And Blanco does indeed get out of the runner in scoring position jam there. Straining that runner at second base. 1 hit for the Wolfpack, but nothing else here in the first inning. And the Cavaliers hold on to their 1-run lead. 1-0 Hoos. When we return, this is Virginia Baseball. One inning in the books here in Dale Park in Raleigh. And the Cavaliers have a 1-0 lead. Doak Field at Dale Park here, home of the NC State Wolfpack. Heath Andrews back to the bump here for State. Andrews in his 7 starts, 35 innings this season. Picking up where Dominic Fritton left off last night. Fritton had a pretty good start up until that 6th inning for the Cavaliers, when that was a big one for the Hoos. Aiden Teal with a home run. Jacob Ferentz with a go-ahead 3-run home run as well. Fritton would exit the game after that. That was the starter for State. Last night, Andrews, 1 hit in that 1st inning. Here's Henry Godbout now, watching a breaking ball called. First pitch strike. Godbout, Ferentz, and Didowick due up. Godbout, the second baseman, Ferentz, the catcher, and Didowick as the DH today for Brian O'Connor. Here's the 0-1. That's a slider that snuck over the netting behind home plate and gets over top of the press box here as well. 0-2 last night for Henry Godbout. Got the scoring started for Virginia with a sacrifice fly in the 4th inning. That's a breaking ball, misses low and away. Right now, Henry Godbout batting .324 on the season, 3rd best of anyone in the lineup today, behind only Becker and Ford, the super softs for Virginia. Godbout, 3rd-year player, ground ball left side, fielded by Hevner, and his throw to first is in time for the out. That was Matt Hevner on the infield there for NC State. Throwing to Chris McHugh over at first base. Alex Sosa is behind the plate tonight for the Wolfpack. Luke Nixon over at second base. Justin DeCrisio at short. Josh Hogue starting in left field. Ty Head in center. Braden Fraisman out in right field. And now the man who had the big hit last night for the Cavaliers, a go-ahead 3-run home run. Jacob Ferentz takes a first pitch fastball strike. Just a little late to react on that one, it looked like. Ferentz, his home run last night, his 3rd of the season. He's up to 14 RBIs. Breaking ball outside. Has also pulled that average up to 299. A guy who was a little slow out of the gates this year, but has found some better form as of late for the Hoos and has cemented himself back into the starting catcher's spot. That one's high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Andrews started this game off with a walk to Aiden Teal, but since has been in and around the zone. Everybody up except Teal has made contact in one form or another. 1 hit for the Cavaliers, ground ball, but it's tapped foul. Taking a look at Andrews' last start for the Wolfpack. That came last weekend against the Duke Blue Devils, and no decision, but 4 innings of work, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks. 4 walks a season high, tied, and that is a called strike 3. Ferentz just watched in 94 over the plates, asked the umpire something as he was headed back, but whatever he asked, it's not going to change the strike 3 call as Andrews rolling through this 2nd inning here. 2 quick outs now. Harrison Didowick, a guy that if Virginia could get him going, you really feel like the offense would be firing on all cylinders. He takes a first pitch strike. Didowick only batting .173 this season. 13 hits in 75 at bats. Does have 1 home run and 10 RBIs though. Here's the 0-1. And he got one on the inner half, and he turned to try to get the barrel to it, but only fouled it away. James Nunnally is on deck for Virginia. He's the left fielder. Didowick has played left a bit as well, but right now handling the bat as the DH today for Brian O'Connor. In an 0-2 count here, Andrews trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning. The pitch in the dirt. Good take from Didowick. Seen some teams play Didowick to pull. Right now, NC State playing him straight up. He's got the capability to hit to all fields, but when he's getting a hold of one, it's usually to the pull side. Drives this one towards the gap in left center, though. High in the air, Head, a long run over but he does get there to make the catch in time for out number 3. So nothing doing for Virginia in the top half of the second inning. No runs, no hits, no base runners. Cavaliers still lead 1-0. Nothing doing for Virginia in the top of the second. NC State's going to try and match Virginia's 1 run as they trail 1-0. Cavaliers have Evan Blanco on their side on the mound right now. Gave up a double in that first inning, but nothing else. His first pitch coming in at 92, just a bit high and outside. Well, Blanco's such a big returner for this Cavalier offense, or this Cavalier pitching staff, I should say, as Justin DeCrisio is batting here for State. Hits that one off the end of the bat, rolls foul down the first base side. 1 ball, 1 strike. A third-team All-ACC performer as a starting pitcher a season ago. Blanco, 8-3 with a 3.62 ERA. So that's what they're trying to get him back to. That one's high and outside, 2-1. The 1 hit in the first inning, a double to Josh Hogue. This is DeCrisio, the shortstop for State, who's hitting .286 on the season. Blanco having a little trouble finding the zone in this AB. It's 3-1. DeCrisio, 4 home runs, 20 RBIs this season for State, but just trying to set the table here for them. And we'll be happy to draw a walk. But he drives this one instead, high in the air, out to left. Nunnally runs out of room. That's a solo home run for Justin DeCrisio, his 5th of the season, and that ties this game at 1. Well, I think Ty Head thought he was going to have one in his first at bat. He hit it to the wall. DeCrisio had to make sure he hit this one a little bit further. Barreling it up, pulling it out to left, and clearing the left field wall. Just like that, we're tied here in the bottom of the second inning on NC State's 2nd hit of the day. Just over the North Carolina Education lottery sign out there in left. 327 down the line. That one cleared the wall a bit to the right of that. Probably looking in the 340, 350 range on that one. Now it is Braden Fraisman, the right fielder, after DeCrisio left the yard. Fraisman takes. It's 1 ball, 1 strike, 91 mile-an-hour fastball coming from Blanco on that last offering. Blanco back to his windup. And that one hit off the end of the bat, foul. So Cavaliers last night had 3 home runs consecutively. Teal, Ferentz in the 6th, then Becker in the 7th. NC State had a couple of long balls late from McHugh and Freisman here. This is sharply grounded at Hansen. He's got it, and he throws on target in time. Saw one similar play last night. Hansen, that throw was in the dirt. That one right on target to Arroyo. And a good sign for Virginia's defense here in the second inning. There's one out under the belt for Blanco now in the second inning. That'll bring up Luke Nixon, who led off last night but had a rough night at the plate. And he takes that one low and away. Nixon 0 for 4. Did have a walk, but 2 strikeouts as well. Moved down in the order today, but still having a very solid year. And he drives this one to left on a line. Not only started to come in, knew he wasn't going to be able to get to it, so he waits for it to hop into his chest there. And there's a single from NC State. Already the second hit this inning. Nixon doing a nice job going the opposite way. Now, with the DH spot, it's the freshman, Brandon Novy. Only his second start in a Wolfpack uniform. He's got 1 hit in 9 at-bats, but has 3 runs scored. He's drawn 6 walks as well. Takes a strike. So, really patient at the plate. He's got as many walks on the season as Braden Freisman, who's making his 29th start. Freisman grounded out. Nixon's over at first base. Blanco gives him one low in the dirt. It's 1-1. Luke Nixon over at first base. Definitely a guy to keep an eye on. 11 stolen bases for him this season in 13 attempts. And of anyone for NC State, 24 stolen bases total as a team, 11 of them coming from Luke. That draws a throw over from Blanco. He's back in safely, though, as Novy trying to keep the offense going for State at the moment. Brandon Novy, the DH today, as I mentioned, facing Blanco, who throws over once again. Novy from Holly Springs, North Carolina, so a relatively local player. Played at the Pro 5 Baseball Academy. Top third baseman and 8th best prospect in the state of North Carolina, according to Perfect Game. 23rd ranked third baseman nationally for him. Throw over from Blanco again. Gets the yawn from the PA here at Doak Field. Novy in a 1-1 count. Nixon leading off the base again. This is a ground ball chopped past Hansen at third base. That's a base hit. Not only on it again, but a high bouncer over towards the third base side. Gets through for another single. Back-to-back hits now for State. They tied the game with a solo home run. They may be thinking about taking the lead here in the second if Blanco can't settle in. Blanco just crossed the 20 pitch mark last at bat. He's now sitting up to 24. And that'll prompt a mound visit from pitching coach Drew Dickinson. Not really any surprise here. Whenever you see these guys getting a little bit of trouble, it's a good bet that Coach Dickinson is going to make his way out to the pitcher's mound. Jacob Ferentz is there with him as well. Right now, it's just a matter of missing bats or at least making the defense make the plays for Blanco, because State starting to hit him up a little bit. Already 4 hits in the game here with just 1 out in the bottom half of the second inning. They got a double from Hogue, a home run from DeCrisio to lead this inning off, and 2 singles in a row from Luke Nixon and Brandon Novy. Suddenly, NC State has the bats rolling. They got them rolling early last night as well, as they got off to a 4-1 lead. They had 10 hits in their own right, but overall Virginia was able to outlast them and surge late. Cavaliers off to an early lead here. It's been erased. Blanco first and second, 1 out here in the bottom half of the inning now. And here is the first pitch to Matt Hevner, and a good looking one at that. Slider that he can't get the bat head to. Matt Hevner, the number 9 hitter, making his 21st start. Third baseman for Elliott Avent. 3 home runs, 20 RBIs for him this season. 0-1. Breaking ball, low and inside. Went back to the slider that time. Hevner, enough sense to lay off, though. Evan Blanco has not gone deep into too many games this season. In fact, he has only been able to go 5 innings as a max this season. Hevner shows bunt, tries to lay it down, but it ricochets foul. 5 innings against Stanford last weekend, also threw 5 innings at Cal. So has had success against the West Coast schools. Blanco pitching last Saturday against Stanford, and what was ultimately a 9-8 Cavalier walk-off victory. So Blanco did not factor into that decision. Here's the 1-2 now with 2 runners on towards third. Hansen bobbles it, has to pick it back up with a bare hand, and he will just eat it. Looked like it might have been able to get at least 1 runner at second, perhaps another if they turn it quickly, but Hansen couldn't field it cleanly. There's an error by Virginia. After 3 last night, they've got 1 here, and the defense not sharp at the moment for the Cavaliers. 4 errors this series. Now you got the top of the order due up with the bases loaded. It's getting dicey out there for Blanco all of a sudden. Ty Head, who hit one to the wall his first time up and had multiple hits last night as well. Seeing the ball well, but he sees that one in for a called first pitch strike. Ty Head, 3 for 3 last night with 2 walks in 5 plate appearances. Did not score a run or drive one in, but was on the bases every time he was at the plate. Ground ball through the middle. That'll score at least 1. They're gonna wave a second runner home. He will score as well. Novi racing home from second. Base hit through the middle. Ty Head swinging a hot bat right now. 2 RBIs, single. Pack have taken the lead here in the bottom half of the second. Right past Blanco's cleats on the mound, and Ty Head picking up RBIs 20 and 21 on the season. NC State leading 3-1. Nixon and Novi scoring. Hevner stopping at second as Teal threw the ball into the cutoff man. Here's Josh Hogue, and that one's away. 3-1 State now. 3 runs scoring here in the bottom half of the second, and still just 1 out. Blanco's still got plenty of work to do in this inning with runners at first and second and only 1 out. Popped up, left side, skied into the air, and it will drift over foul. Two runs scoring on the play. Not sure if those would be earned or unearned based on the error from Hansen keeping the inning going. Right now, both earned officially on Blanco, so 3 runs home for State. Runner is out at second in Matt Hevner in scoring position. If Hogue can get another hit here, he fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Josh Hogue, 12 doubles on the season now. Really making up for lost time after he suffered a season-ending injury last season. He was not playing when the Pack came to Charlottesville. This one grounded foul to the right side. NC State came into Charlottesville last year, took 2 of 3. Virginia will try to return the favor this year. They got the win last night. Led early, but NC State has already come back here in the second. Two of the longest tenured coaches in the ACC, Elliott Avent. This is grounded out towards second. Godbout and Becker. Becker steps on the bag, and they just get the runner at second. That was Ty Head running hard thought they might take another look at it. It was so close, but looks like they'll be content. Becker fielded that one off his chest. They had Hogue played to pull. Thought that was Godbout initially, but it was actually Becker playing where Godbout normally would be. They get one out on the fielder's choice, and here comes what looks like a review now. Because that was a bang-bang play out at second base with Godbout and Becker both in the vicinity. And now we're going to get a look at this one again. Ground ball. Becker fielded it, bobbled it off the chest, raced over to the bag. Looks pretty close. I think Ty Head might actually have slid in safely before Becker stepped on the bag. So that could make a big difference. And they are still reviewing it at the moment. State already with a 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. Now Blanco's going to go back into some warm-up tosses, and there go the Virginia bullpen pitchers towards the left field bullpen because Blanco is getting that pitch count up at the moment. He's sitting at 35 pitches here in the second inning. After facing only 4 batters in the first, NC State has really gotten to him here. Here comes the call. Still out at the bag, and the runner is still safe at first. So I think Virginia got a little bit fortunate there that Becker was able to get to the bag with enough time to step on it before the speedy Head slid in safely. Runner advances from second to third. That's Hevner. Head is cut down at second on the fielder's choice by Josh Hogue, who now stands at first base. Chris McHugh batting now for NC State. First time up, popped out in foul territory to the first base side. That one's outside. Good snag by Jacob Ferentz, because if that one gets away, a run is scoring from third. NC State got a run home on a pass ball last night. Virginia doesn't need to help out the pack any today. 1-0. McHugh drives this one to right. That's going to be a base hit, and another run will score. Ford comes up throwing into third. They are going to not get the runner because Hansen couldn't get the tag down. It was there in plenty of time, and Hogue slid to the outside of the bag, rolled over onto his side, and according to the umpire, got the hand in before the tag came down. I thought for sure Hogue was going to be out at the bag because that was a great throw into Becker by Ford, and then a great relay, quick one by Becker to third base. Hansen wanted a look at it immediately. It is going to be a run-scoring single for Chris McHugh, as that is now the 5th hit of the inning for NC State. Not trying to do too much, going inside out on that one, hitting it to right. Hevner scores on the play. 4 runs home for NC State. Getting a look at it here. And I think the question will be if the glove hit the chest of Hogue before he got that right hand into the bag. It was a good slide by Hogue, reaching towards the base while moving his body away from the base. And since this was called safe on the field, I'm inclined to believe it's going to be tough to overturn just looking at the replay a couple of times here. Already the second lengthy replay review of the game here. Blanco is once again taking a few warm-up tosses, but for whatever reason, Blanco, his stuff, not fooling these NC State hitters. A home run, 2 singles by Nixon and Novi, then an error in the field by Virginia, another single by Ty Head, a fielder's choice by Hogue, and a single by Chris McHugh, and we're going to have at least one more run scoring on that play for NC State. Question is it going to be 2 or 1 outs? They called the runner safe on the play. Two outs on the play, excuse me. So is Virginia going to get out of the inning is the question after the fielder's choice by Hogue. Runner's safe at third, and I thought that might be the call because looking at it again, it was not clear, I think, that Hansen got that glove in before the hand of Hogue slid to the base. So he's at third now. State scores another run. It's an RBI for McHugh. First and third now. Excuse me, second and third, because McHugh took second on the throw. Looking up now from the score sheet. And a base hit would continue the advantage for NC State here. Sosa struck out swinging to end the first inning. And he's out in front and essentially completely spins around in the box there. And seeing that, the third base coach from NC State needs to have a word with him, it would appear. So Sosa, he had the double last night, but looked a little uncomfortable at the plate a few times. And I think that has shown up mostly in his strikeout numbers. Leads the team with 28 strikeouts in the box on the season. Had 2 last night, so just trying to get back to what's been working for him. And there's the conclusion of that conversation over at the third base side. Just looked like a frustrating swing for Alex Sosa. He sort of spun around and ended up with his front completely away from the plate and towards his own dugout. And there's a swing and a miss, another breaking ball. And I think Blanco, at the very least, knows what he wants to do against Sosa here. Question is, will Sosa battle back? Down 0-2. Second and third, 2 outs, State up 4-1. There's strike 3, breaking ball. Second time Sosa's gone down swinging today, but it's 9 batters to the plate for NC State in the bottom of the second inning. A solo home run got him started, and a lot happened after that. NC State 4-1 leading the Cavaliers. We head to the top of the third inning. Big bottom half of the second inning for NC State. 4 runs scoring. They roar out to their first lead of the day. 4-1 now. Cavaliers got a run in the first inning. but Heath Andrews was dominant in the second. He'll face 8, 9, and 1 in the batting order here for Virginia. Starting Nunnally off with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Good-looking one for strike one. James Nunnally, the left fielder, the freshman. 271 this season for Virginia. Takes another breaking ball called strike. So Andrews mixing up the speeds here for State, as Nunnally is just trying to set the table now. Virginia's going to have to overcome another 4-1 deficit. Liner to shorts, but leaping up and making the grab is Justin DeCrisio. Hard hit. Looks like a pretty good bet for a leadoff single by Nunnally. Unfortunately, there are position players out in the field as well. DeCrisio makes the grab for out number one. Luke Hansen batting now. Bit of an adventure in the field last half inning for him. Trying to redeem himself at the plate here. 0-1 the count to Virginia's third baseman. Had a great weekend last weekend against the Cardinal, trying to keep that momentum building. Ground ball left side, and it's foul. 0-2, that was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Heath Andrews. One thing you notice about a lot of these NC State pitchers, they've got great velocity coming to the plate. Here's the 0-2, and yanked that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aiden Teal is on deck. He's been setting the table for Virginia for the last few games. Due up third here, needs someone else to get on base in front of him. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball and lined into the glove of Heath Andrews. I don't know how he had enough time to reach down and snare that one before it snuck by him, but what a play. 2 line drive outs here for Virginia. Both looking pretty good off the bat. Both a couple of nice plays by NC State, and especially by Andrews there. Had to reach down and snag that one before it hit the top of the pitcher's mound. 2 liners, 2 outs. Aiden Teal, the batter, takes outside. Watch the heater come in, 93 miles an hour. Teal drew a 4-pitch walk to begin the game. Looks like it could be a little hairy to begin for Andrews. A walk and a single to lead off the game for Virginia. He's settled in now, though, and throws a breaking ball called strike, 1-1. Since that single from Becker, it's been 7 straight batters retired, and Henry Ford into a double play as well. But Teal is working a pretty good count here, as that one low and inside. He's got a hitter's count 2-1. Aiden Teal, you could say, jump-started Virginia's offense last night. A solo home run to lead off that 6th inning off of Fritton. Set things in motion, and that one's low and inside. And he shakes his head. Also made a great play out in center field, stumbling back over his feet, reaching up and making a grab, falling down. He's in a 3-1 count here. Is he going to get a pitch to hit in 2 at-bats? He's gotten 1 strike. Here's the 3-1. Ball 4. I think most people, maybe even Aiden Teal included, thought that was going to be called a strike because it took him a while to toss his bat towards the Virginia dugout, but it is called ball 4. Second time Teal has walked to first base. That'll get that on-base percentage up. Already one of the highest on the team at .453. Teal is stepping back to make sure that Heath Andrews doesn't get him too far off the base over there. With 2 outs, wouldn't be surprised to see maybe Virginia try to push the issue here a little. That's a fastball that came in way too far to Becker. He has to back up out of the way. 1-0. Becker, a single his first time up. He left the yard as well last night, clubbing a 400-plus foot home run to dead center field. His 4th of the season, 2nd on the team with those 4 home runs now. Here's the 1-0 to him. Ground ball towards second, fielded by Nixon. And throw to first, all in one motion is in time for out number 3. 2-out walk, but Virginia, a bit of bad luck there. Some hard hit balls straight into the gloves of NC State. And after the top half of the third inning, it's still NC State 4, Virginia 1. We'll come back to Doak Field in just a minute. This is Virginia Baseball. Cavaliers go down relatively quietly in the top half of the third inning, meaning the pitching staff is going to have to do its job in keeping this deficit manageable right now for the Hoos. That task right now falls to Evan Blanco. In there for a called strike. It was a 9-batter second inning for State. 5 hits, scoring all 4 of their runs. 0-1 here to Justin DeCrisio, who led last inning off with a solo home run. Ground ball foul down the third base side. DeCrisio, that was his 5th home run of the season, his 21st RBI, and it continues the slugging contest we've got going on here at Doak Field this weekend. That one hit in the air to right. Ford tracking it, but he's going to run out of room. Hit it over into the construction area there on the right field side here at Doak Field. Some renovations underway, expanding the team clubhouse first on the docket. What is a beautiful park here on a beautiful day in Raleigh, North Carolina. 0-2 the count. Blanco steps back to the mound here. DeCrisio, hard hit, fair ball down the third base line into the left field corner. Extra bases again. And Nunnally gets it in. Godbout watches DeCrisio slide in safely. 6 total bases for him in 2 at-bats today. DeCrisio having himself a game. Pitch was elevated, and DeCrisio just turned on it, got it just to the right of the third base bag there. He missed the wall jutting out there, so it trickled into the corner. Nunnally trying to make sure he got to it as quick as he can, sort of double took before chasing it, making sure it wouldn't deflect further into left field. He stands at second base now as the batter is Braden Fraisman. Fraisman hit a ball hard to Luke Hansen his first time up, but it was fielded cleanly. Virginia does have 1 error today, though. Blanco fires that one in for a called strike. 3 of the 4 runs that have scored for State have been earned runs. Matt Hevner's run that he scored last inning, the only unearned run because he reached on an error. Here's the 1-1, and that is a good-looking pitch from Blanco. Got Fraisman to go down after it, made him look silly. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, what does Blanco go to for the out pitch would be the question. He got 2 strikes on DeCrisio, who smoked one down the left field line. Here's the 1-2. Lined, and what a piece of hitting there from Braden Freisman. Threw the hands at it, got enough of the barrel to lift it into center for a single. DeCrisio stops at third, though, so it's first and third, nobody out, and right now it feels like Evan Blanco doesn't really have an out pitch on the mound because NC State has tagged him for 8 hits, and we're only here in the the bottom half of the third inning with nobody out. Luke Nixon batting now, 8 hits for State, and we're only here in the third inning. 3 hits came from Nixon, Novi. They got the runner caught between third and home now. As I was looking down, looking back up, they got him caught in a rundown, and Hanson will tag him out. So a good job by the Cavalier defense. Looked up, and a great throw over by Blanco because he got the runner, DeCrisio, caught between the bag and home when he started to take off, and then great rundown protocol there from the Cavaliers. Ferentz ran him all the way close to the bag at third before throwing it back, and Hanson applied the tag. So that will help. 1 out now in the inning. Check swing from Luke Nixon, foul ball. Freisman does advance to second base, but just never know what's going to happen here. Looking down at your notes, you look back up, there's a runner caught between home and third base all of a sudden. But Virginia gets him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at second base now for Nixon. In the dirt, good block though by Ferentz to keep it close at hand. Jacob Ferentz steady behind that plate for Brian O'Connor in his 6th season of college baseball. You got a leadership at that position. It's always big for a club. Here's the 2-1 now to Nixon. Going to that slider, but can't get it up enough for Nixon to chase, as Freisman's getting a pretty big lead off of second base on the secondary jump. Officially, that's a 2-5 put out. This is hit to right and through the right side of the infield. They're going to wave the runner home from second. Ford's throw to the plate, not in time. Good throw, better speed though from Braden Freisman, who scores to make it 5-1 NC State. Blanco cannot get anybody out right now. 9 hits for NC State. Most of them singles, 2 for Nixon today in 2 at-bats. Whatever Blanco's got right now, NC State is on it. Now, Elliot Avent coming out asking about something to do with the turf in the batter's box. Not sure what, but he heads back to the dugout now. 5-1 State, 9 hits for the Wolfpack, including 3 this inning. All 3 batters have hit safely, and that will bring Brian O'Connor out from the Virginia dugout. Evan Blanco, you know he wants to go further, but right now Virginia can't afford it because everybody's hitting for State. 9 hits, only 1 out here in the top half of the bottom half of the third inning. And Coach O'Connor's going to have to make a move. Somebody has been throwing recently. Looks like Alex Marcus will be set to come in here for Virginia as he makes a call to the bullpen. And there is the move. Gets a pat on the back from his coach, but Blanco going to be a tough start for him, but one that won't stay in his mind for too long, I'm sure. Got to have a short memory as an athlete out there. So Alex Marcus is going to come into the game here for Virginia, throwing some warm-up tosses. During the pitching change, State up 5-1 and just 1 out here in the inning. Runner at second, and here comes Virginia's reliever. We'll step aside for just a moment, come back, tell you all about the new Cavalier pitcher. During the pitching change here, bottom of the third inning, State leads Virginia 5-1. Coach O'Connor has to go to the bullpen early here today. Just the bottom of the third inning, but Alex Marcus will enter the game now for the Cavaliers. Blanco just not his best this afternoon. Has 5 runs scoring on his watch. He'll be responsible for the runner out at second base, but really it was a factor of just not missing bats. 9 hits for NC State here through 2 1/3 innings, including 3 this inning. If not for a good play over at third base, NC State would have scored 2 runs, but they picked off Justin DeCrisio. Now Brandon Novi batting, and that one gets away from Ferentz not too far, but Nixon, the speediest guy on this NC State roster, takes third. He took second on the throw to home from Ford. Takes third there on just a little bit of a pass ball. The first one from Alex Marcus, the graduate transfer from William & Mary, trying to stem the tide here on the mound for the Cavaliers. Just need some outs mostly. That one in the dirt again. Better blocked by Ferentz, or at least keeps it relatively close at hand this time. Hit him square in the chest protector, whereas last one just sort of snuck away from him. And it was a good read by Nixon as well. Novi, the DH, a single in his first at bat. Just his second hit of the season. Marcus in a 2-0 count here, and that one in the dirt as well, but a nice backhand pick by Ferentz. Otherwise, that would have resulted in another run. He didn't catch it cleanly, but he got enough of the mitt to it to keep it where he could get it. And that makes it 3-0. Marcus hasn't gotten a ball to the plate yet, coming in from the bullpen. Three and 0, the pitch. That one too high, and it gets off the glove of Ferentz. That will score a run. Well, they were flirting with it all at bat there, but another run comes home to score. That one just sailing on Marcus and deflecting off the mitt. And what will the ruling be is the question. That is going to be either a pass ball or a wild pitch. Run is scored regardless. It's 6-1. And Novi walked on the play on 4 pitches. That is definitively not what Virginia needs right now. They need strikes, they need outs, they need to get the offense going again. Here's Matt Hevner. That one outside. 95 from Marcus, but right now can't locate it. And interestingly, Chris Arroyo, actually the first over to the pitcher's mound here, as Jacob Ferentz came out to talk it through with him as well. Hevner reached on an error his last time up, the third baseman. And coming into the weekend, the nation's leader in sacrifice bunts as well. 11 on the season. No one else on this NC State roster has more than 1. Now, did not show bunt that time. Marcus turns and throws. And I have to imagine that was what Arroyo wanted to mention to Marcus when he came over to talk to him. More action in Virginia's bullpen. Looks like Joey Colucci going, and another left-hander as well. Might be Dean Campshire getting loose out there. And finally, Marcus gets a called strike. 94 may have gotten the benefit of friendly call there from the home plate umpire, because Ferentz's glove moved a bit on the inner half, but it's 1-1. Does that help Marcus settle in here? Novi still over at first base. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Broke too far outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. 6-1 NC State. They've scored 6 unanswered after Virginia got on the board in the first inning with 1 run. 6 runs on 9 hits already for the Pack. Here is the 2-1. Hit in the air, out to right. High in the air once again. Ford calling for it, and he'll make the catch in shallow right, running towards the line. Novi was watching it the whole time. Godbout was in the vicinity as well, but it's just caught, nothing else. Out number 2, and maybe Marcus can breathe with a sigh of relief now. However, don't get too comfortable, because Ty Head is stepping into the batter's box. 3 for 3 last night, 1 for 2 tonight with 2 RBIs, and nearly hit his 4th home run of the season in his first at bat. There's Marcus with the fastball, called strike. Good velocity from Alex Marcus, a grad transfer from William and Mary for the Cavaliers. Taking a look at his season to date for the Hoos. As he fires in another called strike. This is his 10th appearance. 6 2/3 innings of work this year. 0-2 count here. A strike here could be a big help. Ty Head in an 0-2 hole with Novi over at first base for State. There is strike 3, geared up and put 97 past him. Ty Head goes down swinging to end the frame. Couple more runs score though for NC State. Pass ball and ultimately some timely hitting by the Wolfpack that inning. Score 2. 6-1 NC State. Virginia trails by 5. We're headed for the top of the 4th inning here at Doak Field. Time for Virginia's offense to mount a response if they're going to get back into this game. 3 innings in the books. They're down 6-1. NC State has scored the last 6 after the Cavaliers got on the board early with a 1-0 lead. Andrews back to the mound. It's been a lengthy 2 innings recently for the State offense. Virginia, meanwhile, has gone down quietly the last 2 frames. Henry Ford, 0-1. He drives this one high in the air to left, but he got around on it too far in advance, pulled it foul. Feels like that's what we've been waiting for Henry Ford. He's got 2 home runs. Both came out in Berkeley a few weekends ago. Here's the 0-2 now. And he pounds it into the turf, foul. State with turf in foul territory before you get real grass, real dirt. Out in the outfield, infield. Bit of a hybrid field here. Doak Field in Raleigh. That's a wicked slider that gets by Ford. You could tell he thought it was going to hit the outside corner, and at the last second, took off away from him. Strikeout there for Andrews to begin this frame. 2nd for him, and there's 1 away here in the 4th. You see the NC State infield swing around to the pull side here as Chris Arroyo stands into the batter's box now. He takes a ball off the plate. A lot of glove movement from Sosa trying to help out his pitcher there, but doesn't get the call. So you've got Luke Nixon standing in shallow right field. Justin DeCrisio is up the middle. Matt Hevner is over at short. That's a called strike. 93 that time from Andrews. You can tell the stuff from Andrews today looking very strong. 1-1. Breaking ball called strike. Now, similar story last night. Dominic Fritton looked pretty dominant through the first few innings before the Cavaliers finally got to him. 3rd time through the order was when it started. Here's the 1-2 now to Arroyo. That one outside. Who's not much success through the first 5 innings last night. They got 1 run on the board in the first here, but they find themselves trailing again by 5. Here's the 2-2. Arroyo goes the opposite way, chips it towards left, and foul. Thought that was going to settle into the corner, nearly got it all the way to the wall. And for a moment there, even thought he might have poked one out of here. Again, only 327 down the left field line, but it's a long foul ball. And now he's got to make his way back to the batter's box. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count. Chris Arroyo, junior college transfer in from Pasco Hernando State, a Florida Gator before that, now in the orange and blue in Charlottesville instead of Gainesville. Here's the 2-2, and he goes down swinging. Fastball outside. Not sure if that would have been a strike. He asked the home plate umpire, but that is 2 consecutive Ks for Andrews now on the mound, who seems like he's really found his footing in today's contest. 2 down for Godbout now. Base is empty for him. He takes a called strike. Fastball in the inside corner that time. Godbout grounded out to third his first time up. Had a sacrifice fly to get the Cavaliers on the board last night, and a double that helped out the cause. This one hit high to left center, but it will be caught by Josh Hogue as he gets underneath it for the final out of the inning. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Heath Andrews. Second one of those he's turned, and Virginia's offense goes down quietly again. Still just 1 hit for the Hoos through 4 innings. They trail NC State 6-1. Back in a moment here at Doak Field. Last 2 innings have been big for NC State. 6 runs combined between the second and third innings. Can Alex Marcus work another scoreless frame? Evan Blanco went 1 scoreless inning, but was pulled in the top half, or just 1 batter into the 3rd inning. Marcus will face Josh Hogue here to lead off the 4th. Righty on lefty matchup. Starts him with a fastball. High heat at the top, well, really beyond the top of the zone. Looking at Evan Blanco's final line today, as Marcus digs in against Hogue. Feeds him a breaking ball, but it's too high again. 2-0. 2 1/3 innings, allowing 6 runs, 5 earned on 9 hits, 2 strikeouts, no walks. He faced 16 batters through 53 pitches, 38 of which were strikes. Here's the 2-0. That one too high again, 94 miles an hour, but Marcus, once again, a little erratic to begin things here. He walked Brandon Novi to begin his appearance last inning, and now in danger of losing Hogue here with McHugh on deck. That one's up and in, and ball 4. Hogue has now been on base twice, once via a double. He did get a board on a fielder's choice last time, and now walks to start the frame. NC State, more base runners here in the fourth. And that one on a free pass. And you start to hear the chants from NC State fans. Luckily, the chant is going to stop there because that's a called strike on the outside corner to McHugh. And again, Marcus maybe getting the benefit of a friendly call on that one. He's got to come back into the zone here. He does there with a nice slider. McHugh was fooled on it. He went down to one knee to swing after it, came up empty. Last night, 7 walks for Virginia pitching, so something that they're going to have to try and cut down on as the weekend goes along. They do have one win already, but this one is popped up. Right side, Arroyo has a bead on it and is going to get underneath it, drifting past the NC State dugout into foul territory right before that angle begins, and it cuts back towards the playing field. Pop out again from Chris McHugh in foul territory. That's the second time he's popped out to Arroyo over there. He drops to 1 for 3. Now, Alex Sosa has had a rough day at the plate for State. 2 strikeouts, both swinging. Blanco looked in complete control over him last time, so he's probably happy to see another pitcher here. As Marcus out of the stretch. Breaking ball, called strike. Sosa nods, saying he knew that was a strike, he just took it anyway. It's 0-1. 9 hits for State, but Marcus has kept them hitless with 1 out here. He has walked 1 batter. Still 2 arms going for Virginia in their bullpen. This one fouled away, out of play. To the third base side. That cleared the concourse over there on the left field side. Runner at first is Josh Hogue. He has 3 stolen bases in 4 attempts this season. Has not indicated that he's looking to be put in motion here. Sosa again in an 0-2 count as Marcus will try to get another batter here. Try to get him the high heater, but he did not commit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sosa on the season, strikeouts the obvious negative, but you look at the positives, 5 home runs this season as well. Second on the team, tied with Hogue for that mark. Well, that's the 3rd time he's gone down swinging today. That's a breaking ball, beautiful from Marcus. Buried below the zone, started high enough that Sosa couldn't resist. Strike 3, out 2 from Alex Marcus here in the 4th, and with 1 more out, can perhaps get things back on track from a Virginia pitching standpoint of getting a little bit of more rhythm on the mound here. Blanco just couldn't miss any NC State bats, allowed 9 hits. Marcus has yet to allow a hit. Throw over to first. Hogue is down safely, diving in towards the bag. In that white uni dirty today over there at first base. DeCrisio is 2 for 2 today. A home run and a double. That one's high. 94 miles an hour. That home run earlier, his 5th of the season. He started last inning off with a double, but he was caught between between third and home on a rundown and was eventually tagged out. So while NC State does have a 5-run lead, may have run into an out there. That's a breaking ball that misses inside. 2-0. 2 1/3 innings for Evan Blanco. 6 runs, 5 earned. 2 strikeouts, no walks. Now Marcus trying to pick up the slack. Gets a called strike there. Fastball, top of the zone, 95. You've got DeCrisio, Freisman, and Nixon. It's been a productive part of the order for State. Here's the 2-1 now from Marcus. This one hit hard to deep left center, but Aiden Teal ranging over to make the grab in front of the warning track for out number 3. And there's the scoreless frame worked by Alex Marcus. Nice bounce back inning for Virginia pitchers. They hold State scoreless in the bottom half of the 4th inning, but the Hoos still trail by 5, 6-1 NC State. Virginia back on offense when we return here at Doak Field.
For speed, Trey Turner, obviously. For power, I would say Aaron Judge, obviously. For hitting, I would say Juan Soto, Juan Soto a lot. For fielding, Patrick Bailey. Athleticism, I'll go with Luke Betts.
My knowledge of player right now is kind of great. Let's think. Babe Ruth power, of course. Computer Ortiz power. Contact skills, Mookie Betts. Arm strength, I'll go Elliot Cruz. He's a fit for one of the leaders like Shohei Ohtani. Fielding, Mookie Betts. Dude, I'm gonna sound stupid on you. I don't know, but I'm gonna say Sean Fielding. Just the higher end, but I'll say contact would be Luis Arias, power would be Aaron Judge, speed would be Trey Turner, and fielding would be Michael Harris. Trash, right? Pitching, I'm a Mohawk guy. Shouldn't have said that 'cause I should know who this is. Ryan, yeah, dude.
Virginia needs to get the bats going here, top of the 5th inning, but Heath Andrews is in some kind of groove. Worked a scoreless last 3 innings for State on the mound and looked about as good as he has all day last frame. 2 strikeouts and a flyout of Virginia's 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Now it's up to the lower half, starting with Jacob Ferentz here for the Cavaliers. Jacob Ferentz struck out looking his first time up. 3rd home run of the season last night, and that one runs in on him. And he's got to back up out of the way as Andrews gives him a fastball to start the at-bat. Ferentz, Didowick, Nunnally. Cavaliers need something here with the bats. They've been held hitless since the 1st inning. That's a breaking ball called strike outside corner. Well, the Hoos a little slow out of the gates last night as well. We'll see if something similar follows as that one misses low. Pretty good looking pitch from Andrews, but could not get it in the zone. Two-one. Ferentz high and inside. Ferentz, no stranger to postseason baseball. He obviously made the trip to Omaha with the team last year, but at the D3 level as well, was a Division III national champion. And that is a 93-mile-an-hour fastball called strike. The Salisbury University product grounds this one towards short off the bat, and it's DeCrisio thrown across the diamond now as Heath Andrews had a streak going of 7 consecutive batters retired. Then he walked Aiden Teal and now has started a new streak of 5 now consecutive retired in a row. So Virginia just needs something to go their way offensively right now. Harrison Didowick, can he be the spark? Watches a breaking ball called strike. Harrison Didowick did not see any action yesterday. 1 home run for him on the season. Here's the 0-1 and misses outside. Can tell the State fans none too happy about that call, but breaking ball that ended on the outside corner, if anything, that movement not going to cross the zone. It's 1-1. And now Andrews fires one in the dirt. Andrews 4 1/3. Right now sitting at 66 pitches. So right around the same pace I believe we saw from Fritton last night. Here's the 2-1 to Didowick. And another breaking ball close, but outside again. And Didowick's got a good eye at the plate here. Didowick's OBP 300. He's drawn 11 walks this season, so has had a discerning eye. Just hasn't made a ton of contact with it. And he geared up for that one, but could only swing and miss. Looked to be right in his power zone there. Tried to launch, but a better pitch from Andrews. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Andrews to his windup. Misses outside, ball 4. Didowick will reach base. Cavaliers need some hits, though. Can James Nunnally deliver? Another base runner for the Who's. It's been not too many run-scoring opportunities. In fact, really only in the first inning has Virginia threatened against Andrews. Can Didowick change that over at first? He's definitely got the speed to try and take an extra base here. Nunnally watches. A low breaking ball, 84 miles an hour. James Nunnally out of Aldie, Virginia, and was a 14th round MLB draft pick by the Milwaukee Brewers. Throw over, Didowick dives back safely. Nunnally has popped in his first season, had a 5-hit game against Dartmouth earlier this season. That was after he collided with his teammate out in right field and got knocked out of the game on Friday. Cavaliers would win all 3 games of that series, thanks in part to Nunnally on Sunday, who had that 5-hit game. Light Ridge High School product. This is a grounder towards short, could be 2. DeCrisio. The throw from Nixon is caught, and McHugh holds the bag. It is indeed 6-4-3 double play. So another relatively painless inning for Heath Andrews. Cavaliers offense has been stymied today. Headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's the Pack out in front by 5. 6-1 NC State here at Doak Field in Game 2 between the Cavaliers and the Wolfpack. After a very solid 4th inning, Alex Marcus coming back out for the 5th inning. Taking a look at his history with the Cavaliers to this point in his career, his longest outing for Virginia, that is, an inning and a third. That came March 14th at Cal. Prior to that, he had pitched 3 innings as a member of the William & Mary Tribe. His career-long outing, 3 innings Actually looking like it's 3 1/3 last year. This one driven towards the gap, high in left center, but James Nunnally, the range and the speed to get to that one. He hustles over. 1 pitch, 1 out off the bat of Braden Fraisman for the NC State Wolfpack. Fraisman had been hitting the ball hard, and he continued to do that there. Just nice job by Nunnally, but Fraisman now 1 for 3. Luke Nixon, rough night last night. He has turned it around here today. 2 for 2 with 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. But that is taken on the outside corner. Marcus last time out for Virginia. 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, no runs, 1 strikeout on just 9 pitches. And another fastball that got by him and got through the mitt. That is actually Trey Wells back behind the plate now, catching for Virginia. So thought that mask looked different with the catching gear on, and so Trey Wells, that one snuck through his glove. Marcus is struggling to find the zone here against Luke Nixon. It's 3-0. Nixon 2 singles. His last one drove home a run. And that one came in and hit him on the arm, and that will put him aboard first base. Virginia not going to have a 1-2-3 inning in this frame. They've not been able to retire 3 in a row from the pack today. Marcus walked the leadoff batter last inning, but got 3 consecutive outs. Also got 2 outs to end that 3rd inning, so he's come in and settled things down here for the Cavaliers. Unfortunately, still down by 5. Brandon Novi batting now, who's 1 for 1. Also has a walk in addition to a single. He's got a run scored as well. Takes inside, ball 1, 1-0. 94 miles an hour, but Marcus needing to get in the zone here, facing the bottom of the NC State order. That's a throw over to keep an eye on Nixon. Not a guy you want to put on for free with 11 stolen bases over there, but Marcus does a good job to keep him on over there. 1 ball, no strikes. Novi, his single back in the 2nd inning, just his 2nd hit of the season. He's now 2 for 10 on the year, but does have 3 runs scored. Getting the start today. A lot of confidence instilled by Elliott Avent into him. And he's had 2 good plate appearances so far. Can Marcus win the battle this time? And he gears up, puts the fastball by him at 94 miles an hour. Foul tipped into Trey Wells' mitt. So that defensive substitution came at the beginning of this inning. Trey Wells coming in for Jacob Ferentz, who was 0 for 2, but I think that may have had more to do with the defense. And that is a nice looking pitch from Marcus. Spinner drops in for a called strike 2 to Novi. NC State getting a run scored on a pass ball, and 2 times in the at-bat where that run scored, it was Luke Nixon who scored on the play. Ferentz let a base runner advance, so that could have been the calculus in the decision. That one's low and away to Novi. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Have not seen much aggressive base running here this weekend, but Nixon has got a big lead over there at first base. With 2 strikes, you never know. He may be thinking about going. Marcus, realizing that, throws over, but he's back in safely. Alex Marcus at 30-plus pitches now. Long look in before throw over. Good throw. Close to the bag, but Nixon's back in safely once again. So this is now by pitch count, I should say, the longest outing of Marcus's UVA career. That one is outside. and by innings pitched as well. 2 innings. Now he's been able to stave off any other pitching changes so far, but has put a runner on, and a full count, a big pitch to Novi here. Runner goes, breaking ball, called ball 4. And while Marcus has been good in relief, that's now the 4th batter he's put on. 3 walks and a hit by pitch. 2 consecutive free passes for him here. To the bottom of the order as well. That is tough to stomach if you're Virginia. Matt Hevner batting now, who's 0 for 2. Got to get this batter, you feel like, if you're Marcus. With Head and Hogue due up, wouldn't be surprised to see Brian O'Connor make a pitching change and get a lefty in there. Hevner takes inside to start the at-bat, 1-0. 82 miles an hour from Marcus. I believe Dean Campshire throwing out for Virginia in the left field bullpen. Shows bunt, and Hevner is going to try and lay one down. Would be shocked if we saw a weekend without a bunt attempt from Hevner. The nation's leader with 11 sacrifice bunts coming into the weekend. 2-0 here. Marcus has got to find the zone again. And he does with the 93-mile-an-hour fastball. A Richmond native out of Benedictine High School. Played for Roanoke College, then for William & Mary, and then for Virginia. A look back to second. Delivers now. Popped up to shallow center. Looks like it could be trouble for Godbout. He can't get around it. Finally does, and they got the runner doubled off of first. Novi was way off the bag. Godbout had an adventure tracking that one. Finally got under it, made the catch, and Novi was dead meat over at first base. So a nice job of escaping the jam by Alex Marcus. Taking advantage of maybe a miscue on the base paths from NC State. But it's another scoreless inning for Marcus, and that's all that matters. Through 5, our score. NC State 6, Virginia 1. Back in just a moment here at Doak Field in Raleigh, North Carolina. Top of the 6th inning. Still the middle innings here at Doak Field, and it's still a 6-1 NC State lead. Now this is where Virginia made their move yesterday when they started their offensive output. Heath Andrews has really been dialed in the last few innings, though, and that's a called strike to begin the at-bat to Luke Hansen. 9-1-2 in the batting order here for Virginia in the top half of the 6th. Hansen gets a piece, but can only foul it over near his left field side dugout. Andrews starting the at-bat strong again, 0-2. Dominic Fritton, 5 2/3 innings yesterday. This one popped up to right center. Charging in, no, going back. It's Luke Nixon who's going to call for it and make the catch for out number 1. So Fritton allowed 5 runs on 10 hits last night, but again, Virginia really got going in this 6th inning with 4 runs, and they did it with the help of Aiden Teal's 3rd home run. Teal has been aboard twice, both via the walk. Breaking ball outside, good eye for him. Virginia, 14 hits last night, only 1 tonight. Still a lot of baseball left. This is a ground ball, foul. Teal smacked it down the line, but just pulled it a bit too much. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Aiden Teal, 2 walks today, have pulled his on-base percentage, which was already one of the best on the team, up to .462. Takes low, he began the hands, and you can tell when he's trying to disperse his energy throughout his body, sort of crouched down after he was ready to unload at that pitch there. But he's worked a 2-1 count. And there's another take for another ball. 92 miles an hour. But Aiden Teal, patient at the plate today. He may take another base here from Heath Andrews. Instead, he got one he liked, and look out into the NC State dugout. Had a scary situation last night with a sharply hit liner that entered the NC State dugout and struck one of the coaches, but everybody was okay. That one, everybody on top of. Teal takes, and that is strike 3. Well, Teal had tossed his bat that time, and the umpire rung him up. I got to tell you, that looked like a low pitch there. Haven't gotten a chance to see a replay of it. Certainly not where Sosa was setting up, but according to the umpire, that is strike 3. So Teal thought he had his 3rd walk. Instead, Andrews has another strikeout, and Eric Becker batting. He takes a called strike. That's 4 strikeouts now for Andrew, 3 walks for him. Here's the 0-1. And that one bounced up and hit Becker on the leg. Just got away from Andrews that time, nowhere close. Becker reaches for the 2nd time today. Can Virginia parlay this into any sort of 2-out rally? Henry Ford will try to do so. Virginia got that 3-run home run from Jacob Ferentz with 2 out yesterday. The only runs they scored with 2 outs, all on 1 swing of the bat, but still Virginia has been coming from behind recently, overcame deficits in all 3 games against the Cardinal. Ford gets a ball to start the AB. It's 1-0. Becker gets his lead off of first base. Andrews throwing out of the stretch, and that one comes in and off the glove of Sosa, gets by him, and so Becker easily cruises to second base. That one nearly hit Ford's arm, but he got out of the way of it enough that it didn't creep close enough. 2 balls, no strikes. Virginia still looking for its first hit since Eric Becker's single back in the 1st inning. They've had base runners with walks and now a hit by pitch, but they have not gotten any hits. This is where you need the middle of the order to produce. If you're Virginia, Ford at the plate, 0 for 2. Hit into a double play his 1st time up and struck out swinging his 2nd time up. That double play ground ball did score a run, though. Put Virginia up briefly at the time, 1-0. That lead lasted until the bottom of the 2nd inning. And now it's a 5-run deficit. Cavaliers have not added on. Here is the 2-0 after the mound visit from Sosa to Andrews. That one up high. Feels like After that mound visit and seeing Andrews here, he hit a batter, almost walked Aiden Teal, did get a called strike 3, but just maybe losing a little bit of that command at the moment. That's a called strike. Here's the thing, how do you take him out? Hasn't allowed a hit since the first inning, so it's certainly Elliot Avent's prerogative to let him figure it out at the moment before forcing a move. 3 balls, 1 strike to Ford. And this one ripped to the gap in right center. That's going to split the outfielders. That'll score at least 1 as Ford charging for second. He'll be held up by Kevin McMullen, but a 2-out RBI double for Henry Ford. And the Hoos are back on the scoreboard here in the top of the 6th inning. 6-2, NC State now leads. Nice job by Ford. Hit it hard the opposite way. Just his 6th double of the season, but drove in RBI number 17 on that one. And a run here and a run there. Virginia can be right back in this game. And so can they get a 2-out rally going now with Ford standing in scoring position after Becker scored. Chris Arroyo, the batter, who's 0 for 2. Pitch outside. Breaking ball off the plate away. 1 ball, no strikes. Arroyo hit one towards the left field corner his last time up. He just a touch foul though. And hits this one off the end of the bat. A spinner that Hefner tries to field barehanded, cannot field it cleanly, and Ford races to third. Arroyo's going to be safe at first. I think that'll be an infield single for Arroyo as the runner advances. Just a spinner off the end of the bat. Knew when Hefner went to field that barehanded, he was going to have a tough time picking it up cleanly, and that bore out as Arroyo hustles into first. They do call that a single, so it is the 3rd hit for Virginia. Not the most memorable one, but it keeps the inning going now for the Cavaliers, and one of your best hitters due up in Henry Godbout. And now we've got a mound visit here from Clint Chrysler, the pitching coach. It gives us an opportunity to take a look around the ACC at some other baseball scores this afternoon. One series that will be decided today, North Carolina and Duke over in Chapel Hill, not too far from us here in Raleigh. Carolina leads Duke 7-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning at Boschmer Stadium. Winner of that game takes the series. Carolina 7-7, Duke at 8-6. But there is a log jam in the middle of the ACC currently. Virginia Tech, part of that. They lead Notre Dame 3-1, top of the 8th inning. Hokies lead by 2 after Notre Dame took game 1 of the series yesterday. We'll continue to look around the college baseball landscape as this game progresses. But right now, 1st and 3rd, 2 outs here for Henry Godbout. Cavaliers have scored 1 run here in the 6th. They trail by 4. Need a little bit more from the bats. Can Godbout deliver with 2 outs? Took a big cut, but missed it. Looked like he got the pitch he was ready for, but just couldn't put the bat to it. So, 0-1. Godbout, a ground out and a fly out today. Has not been able to hit safely as of yet. 0-1 from Andrews. Arroyo's running on the pitch. Godbout pops it straight into the air. It's drifting over to the first base side where Chris McHugh is awaiting for it. It comes down, and that is out number 3. Godbout clearly frustrated with himself after that one. Cavaliers leave a pair of base runners aboard. They do score 1 run on the RBI double into the right center field gap from Henry Ford. But the Hoos still trail by 4 after the top of the 6th inning. It's NC State 6, Virginia 2. Back in Raleigh here in just a minute. Coming back, bottom of the 6th inning, Virginia makes another call to their bullpen. They'll turn to Dean Campshore. Dean, the senior out of Falls Church, Virginia, for the Cavaliers this season, facing the top of the NC State order, and Ty Head, who shows bunt on the first pitch, but Trey Wells couldn't handle it. It looks like it goes off his glove. Pitch was out of the zone, called ball 1. Campshore out of the stretch despite no runners on. Here's the 1-0, and he puts the fastball in for a called strike. Taking a look at Dean's season thus far, 8 appearances, but just 2 2/3 innings. 6.75 ERA across those 8 appearances. Here is the 1-ball-1-strike offering to Ty Head. Back to the slider, but couldn't place it in the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Head has flown out to right field, singled home 2 runs, and struck out swinging. So an eventful day for him. 2 2/3 innings, Dean Campshore has allowed 2 earned runs, 3 in total. And he finally gets another called strike there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Only 1 strikeout on the season to 1 walk for Dean. Opponents hitting .429 against him. And this season actually has not gone more than a third of an inning in any of his appearances. This one looped to shallow left. Nunnally racing in. He gets there in plenty of time to make the catch for out number 1. Thought that might be trouble off the bat. It was not hit hard at all. But Ty Head is retired to begin this bottom of the 6th inning. NC State scored 6 straight runs in the 2nd and 3rd innings, but Virginia's bullpen has settled back in so far. That one misses. Close. 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Dean. Here's Josh Hogue, who has been involved in a lot of plays today. A double his first time up, a fielder's choice his second time up. And then drew a walk as he takes strike 1 there. Back to the fastball from Campshore. 1, 2, 3 in the order for NC State here in the 6th, as Dean Campshore trying to pick up where Alex Marcus left off. That's outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Staying with that high 80s fastball for the moment. So Alex Marcus, tremendous job for him. A few base runners, but did not allow a run or a hit in 2 2/3 innings. There's a called strike on the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nine hits for NC State, but none since the 3rd inning for them. This one is hit the other way. Staying alive there. James Nunnally over to retrieve it. Hogue, that double his first time up, was the only hit allowed by Evan Blanco in that 1st inning. Fortunately, Blanco made it through the 2nd, could not get through the 3rd. 2 2. And hit skied, really, over foul to the left side. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count remains. Virginia, have to imagine, will have somebody set to come in if Dean Campshore cannot find an out here, potentially. 2 2, but he gets it. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. What a pitch from Dean Campshore. 2 up, 2 down in what is now, by innings pitched, his longest outing of 2025. And he can make it a full inning here if he can find a way to get Chris McHugh. Is he going to be given the opportunity? Might be the question. Dean has mostly been a lefty specialist, but getting those first 2 outs, and it looks like Brian O'Connor's going to let him try to get out number 3. Chris McHugh, an RBI single today, takes downstairs to begin the at-bat. McHugh having a very solid sophomore season, leading the pack in batting average at .346, tied for the team lead with 6 home runs as well, and leading them with 35 RBIs. Grounder past Hansen at third base. Looked like he might have had a chance on it off the bat, but it was hit too hard. And a single through the left side. That is NC State's first hit since the third inning. And now it'll be Alex Sosa at the plate, or will it be? It will. I say that because Sosa's had a rough day at the plate so far. 0 for 3 with 3 swinging strikeouts. Now batting with a runner at first and 2 outs against the lefty Campshore. Sosa has struck out to end an inning every time he's been at the plate. Well, check that, not in the 4th inning, but in the 1st and 2nd innings. Checks his swing. Umpire says he went around, so no need for an appeal from Wells behind the plate. Sosa last night as well had 2 strikeouts, so 5 in the series. Home plate umpire coming out from behind home to get on the same page with Dean Campshore on the mound. That's Ryan Clark behind the plate. Joseph Blumenauer's at first base, Lindy Hall at second, Brian Miller at third. 1-1. And a breaking ball outside. Sosa lays off this one. 2 balls. No, check that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Home plate umpire confirming the count there. NC State's got to reset it. And they do. McHugh over at first base. Has not stolen a base this season. Pitch is outside there from Dean. 2-1. McHugh does have 1 stolen base attempt on the season, just unsuccessful. Gets his lead off of first. Campshore delivers low and now falls behind 3-1. Well, with Justin DeCrisio on deck, I wonder if Dean needs to find a way to get this batter if he wants to continue in this game or at least get his team through the inning. Here's the 3-1. And he finds the outside corner again for a called strike. 3-2. DeCrisio has had a good day at the plate on deck. And Braden Fraseman behind him as well. A home run last night. He's got a hit tonight. Both right-handed hitters. Joey Colucci looks like he will be set to come into the game potentially. Here's the 3-2. Runner goes. Ground ball. Foul. Right side. Sosa finally getting a piece of it. He did get a hit last night that scored a run when he hit his 6th double of the season to the gap in left center. But other than that, Virginia's gotten him on a lot of swings and misses. 3 balls, 2 strikes here. Runner will be in motion once again. The pitch, fouled away again. This one goes the opposite way. And looks like it's going to be a souvenir for what appears to be a lucky NC State fan. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sosa this season for NC State with runners on, batting .279. He's got McHugh over at first base. He's got a big lead, but no one holding him on. Now he takes off. That pitch is outside. Ball 4. Well, this was the stretch of the lineup with 3 lefties in it. McHugh got the single, but the walk to Sosa maybe complicates things for Dean. And indeed, he will be asked to leave this game because Brian O'Connor's heading out from the pitcher's mound and likely going to make a move for a right-hander here. Dean got a flyout and a strikeout, so his season-long outing at 2/3 of an inning, but ultimately could not get out number 3, and because he got a couple of base runners and a good right-handed hitter coming up, Coach Brian O'Connor will make the move here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. You don't want that deficit to get any bigger at this point in the game. Virginia trailing by 4. He points out to the dugout, Brian O'Connor. He'll call for Joey Colucci, who will enter the game in just a moment when we return. Here it's Virginia baseball. Bottom of the 6th inning, runners at first and second, 2 outs for Joey Colucci entering the game back in just a moment here at Doak Field. Joe Colucci entering the game for Virginia. The right-hander out of the pen here for the Cavaliers. Taking over for Dean Campshore. And taking a look at Colucci on the season. This is his 10th appearance for the right-hander. Transfer in as he's taking the mound here. Ground ball to short, should get the team out of the inning because Becker flips to Godbout, covering the bag. One pitch does the job for Colucci, gets Justin DeCrisio to ground out to end the frame. Well, once again, the Virginia bullpen doing its job here this afternoon as they hold NC State scoreless here in the 6th. We're through the middle 3, headed for the top half of the 7th inning when we return on News Radio. This is Virginia Baseball live from Doak Field in Raleigh, North Carolina. Back in just a moment. Well, we're through 6 innings. NC State's got the lead 6-2, and unfortunately, Virginia's going to have to buck a trend with this NC State team who has lost just 1 game all season when leading after the 6th inning, and a large part of that stat has entered the game now for the Wolfpack. Andrew Schaffner, the right-hander out of Elk Creek, Virginia, takes the mound. And he's been a big part of this NC State bullpen early in the season and into the middle as well. Look at his numbers. 11 appearances, 1 start. He starts Trey Wells, who gets his first at bat with a strike at the top of the zone. Trey Wells replacing Jacob Ferentz in the game, getting his first at bat. Ferentz was 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Wells swings at a slider from Schaffner. 11 appearances, 3-1 record, and 3 saves in 20 1/3 innings for Schaffner, and certainly capable of going multiple innings as well. He's got 22 hits allowed, 8 runs, 7 earned, but 24 strikeouts to just 5 walks. And again, those 3 saves, he has been dominant on the back end for NC State. Pitched a career high 4 1/3 innings against UNC Greensboro last time out and had a career best 7 strikeouts. So coming off his maybe best performance of his career against Greensboro earlier in the week, trying to get his team to the finish line. That's a called strike 3. Trey Wells goes down looking. Well, got a brief coaching clinic from Kevin McMullen over at third base, but did not appear to changed the strike zone when Wells was watching it. Called strike 3 there. There's been frustration on both sides from the strike zone today, I would say. But for the most part, it's been fairly consistent looking at it from up here as Harrison Didowick takes a first pitch strike. Didowick 0 for 1 with a walk today. This one lined, and a leaping grab at short made by Justin DeCrisio. Just turned his back, threw the backhand stab up in the air, and that ball found the webbing. That's a tough break for Harrison Didowick. Should have had a single. Instead, it's out number 2 on a hard hit liner. Quick reaction, great hands from DeCrisio out at short. That's the second liner we've seen caught out there. First one was from James Nunnally, who steps into the box here. It was another leaping grab, although one that he sort of leapt up at before realizing he probably didn't need to. Nunnally takes a first pitch strike. It's been nothing but strikes from Schaffner here out of the pen. Delivers high and outside, 0-1. And you see the stuff once again, 96 miles an hour. And I imagine NC State will let Schaffner try to finish this one out as they're trying to prevent the Cavaliers from winning the series this afternoon using their best reliever. That's a breaking ball called strike 1 and 2. Saw State use 5 pitchers last night. Here's the 1-2 in the dirt, blocked by Sosa, and might have come up and hit underneath his mask there as he reaches that hand up to the neck. And so that is always a tricky situation for a catcher. You drop to your knee, you're trying to get your chest in front of the baseball, and then it just runs up and comes underneath the mask. And it looks like that's what he's pointing to here as he flips it up and is talking with State's trainer now. So looks like he's going to be okay. He gives a thumbs up. Coach Avent and the trainer walking back to the dugout for State. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count to Nunnally. And yeah, just a bad bounce there up underneath his mask. But Sosa okay. Schaffner, is that going to take him out of his groove? It's 2-2, and it's not. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike 3, 3 up, 3 down for Andrew Schaffner. And he's looking strong out of the pen, picking up where Heath Andrews left off. And it's stretch time here at Doak Field at Dale Park in Raleigh, North Carolina. Right now, it's the Wolfpack up by 4. The home fans are happy. Virginia's got to try to change that. But first, Joey Colucci try to keep the Pack off the board and the deficit at 4 when we return. Bottom of the 7th inning. It's stretch time. Joey Colucci to the mound, all stretched out here at Doak Field. And his first pitch is a breaking ball off the plate away to Braden Freisman. Freisman beginning this inning. He'll be followed by Luke Nixon and Brandon Novi, the DH, as Freisman is 1 for 3 today. Colucci threw one pitch and got the Cavaliers out of that 6th inning. That's a foul ball into the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. But taking a look at Colucci on the season, the junior out of Purcellville, Virginia, Woodgrove High School, Harford Community College in Maryland before that, coming in relief once again today. All but one of his appearances have been relief appearances. This one popped up right side. Looks like it will get out of play into the seats on the right field side. Saw a fan trying to make a grab with a hat in the stands there, but another has come up with it, it looks like. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Braden Freisman. But Joe Colucci, 9 appearances, 1 start, 0-3 record, 10 1/3 innings. He's allowed 10 earned runs, 11 total. Misses outside with that one. Nobody throwing for Virginia right now. Looks like Colucci is the man for this inning. You've got a righty in Freisman, a lefty in Nixon, and a righty in Novi. Hevner a righty after that, so maybe no thoughts of change till you get to that point, and you're hoping you're out of it by then. Hit hard down the third base line, but foul. Narrowly missing the third base bag there. Braden Freisman almost had extra bases. He had a home run late last night, part of the 2-run 9th for the Wolfpack. Fortunately for Virginia, they had built up a 4-run lead and ended up taking the game by 2 runs. Colucci 2-2. Gets him swinging. Took a little something off that one. Looked like the breaking ball. And he's out in front for strike 3. Nice start for Colucci here. 2 outs under his belt. 1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Colucci, 9 strikeouts coming into today. Now at 10, he's reached double figures with 3 walks. Opponents hitting .388 against him. Last time out was against the Liberty Flames for Joe. Nixon hits this one into right, just serves up a single, hit in the air, 1 hop. Ford has it, but that is the 3rd hit from Luke Nixon. Not sure what it is about the number 7 spot in the order for NC State this weekend, but yesterday, Ty Head, 3 for 3 in that spot. Today, Luke Nixon, 3 for 3 as well. So the 7 spot has just been the toughest out for any Virginia pitcher. Doesn't matter who is on the mound, doesn't matter who's in the box. So you got a runner at first with 1 out now for the DH. Throw down after Novi takes a called strike, but Nixon's diving back in. He's safe. 0-1 now. 6-2. NC State leads Virginia. 11 hits for the Wolfpack, but few since that 3rd inning. They've only had 2 since then. We're here in the 7th. Colucci out of the stretch with Nixon over at first. A throw over to keep him back at the bag. Brandon Novi has had a good day at the plate in only his 2nd start of his career. A single and 2 walks for the freshman. That single, just his 2nd hit of the season. That's another wicked breaking ball, and it gets Novi swinging. He's down 0-2. Hevner on deck for NC State. So Virginia, I'm sure, hoping Colucci can get through the bottom of the order here. And a good-looking pitch that's called for strike 3. Another one of those sliders. Novi didn't want to swing at it, but Colucci, great location, puts it on the black for a called strike 3. Hevner, the number 9 hitter now. 0 for 3 today. Popped out into shallow right his last time up. That ultimately resulted in a double play. Throw here, gets by Arroyo, which means Nixon's going to break for second. He's going to make a turn. Virginia is over to it. And Arroyo fires it over to Hansen just to get it out of the corner there. Now you got a runner in scoring position on the misplay there. Second error for Virginia today. Have been playing relatively clean baseball up to that point. Did have an error back in the second inning that cost the Hoos a run. One unearned run has come home for the Wolfpack tonight. Here is the first pitch to Hevner. That breaking ball just a little too far off the plate compared to that last one he threw that got Novi looking. Nixon with his speed assuredly going to score from second on any sort of base hit here from Hevner, who is 20 RBIs this season. Ground ball to the third base side, but picked up by the third base coach from the Wolfpack. Hevner batting .348 with runners in scoring position this season, .241 overall, but looking for his first hit today. Colucci trying to win the battle and post another 0 for the bullpen. Ground ball to short, Becker on it, throw to first in time, 6-3 put out to end the inning. A single from NC State, but nothing else in the seventh. 7 down, and Virginia still trailing by 4. We head to the top of the 8th, 6-2. 6 outs to work with if you're the Virginia offense. Need to find a way to score some runs against one of the league's best relievers, Andrew Schaffner. We'll find out if they can do it when we return here in Raleigh between Virginia and NC State. Top of the 8th inning, Virginia needs to mount a rally here in the late innings. First pitch, breaking ball, called strike from Andrew Schaffner of NC State here to begin the inning. It was a 1-2-3 7th for Schaffner. Hansen takes high, and it only took him 10 pitches as well. Imagine Schaffner is the guy right now for State, unless Virginia can find some offense here in the late innings. 1-1. Hansen got a breaking ball that he was ready for, but he could only pop it up behind him. Foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mentioned it earlier, but NC State, the bullpen has been a big help for them this season, as they have only lost 1 game when leading after 6 innings. Can Virginia beat the numbers? Well, Schaffner, breaking ball outside and swung on and missed by Hansen for strike 3. 3 strikeouts and 4 batters for Andrew Schaffner. And that brings up the top of the Cavalier order. This is when they're going to have to do it if they're going to. Don't think these guys are going to get another chance, potentially. We'll see what Virginia can mount here late. Breaking ball. Starts him off with a called strike. Aiden Teal thought he had a 3rd walk last time he was up. Instead, he took a called strike 3 on what might have been a questionable third strike. 0-1. He goes the opposite way here. Hard hit into left center. That's a single. Great piece of hitting there from Teal. Hogue's over to it before Teal can think about making the turn for second, but that is Aiden Teal's first hit of the day. Still just the fourth hit of the ball game for this Virginia offense. They're going to need more of that here late if they want to try and win the series today. Came from behind last night, but a tall task against NC State's closer here this afternoon. Becker takes low and inside. Becker was hit by a pitch his last time up. He singled in his first at bat, then grounded out, then was hit by the pitch. Fourth plate appearance for him here, and fourth time through the order for Virginia's offense. Can they get it going this time? Pitch is a called strike. Sosa didn't catch it. Looked like he was all crossed up there behind home plate. Not sure what happened exactly. The pitch is called a strike, though, and he was almost not even looking at the ball when it came in, and it still hit him in the mitt, and I think that's why he was looking around, because he didn't realize he had caught it. Whatever it is, it's strike one. Breaking ball outside that time. 2 balls and 1 strike now. NC State fans have been begging for that call all day. They have not gotten it once. 2-1 here. Teal getting his lead off of first. Down 4. Virginia probably not trying to push the issue too much on the bases, but Becker grounds that one over to the right side. Foul. Who's 1 run in the first, 1 run in the 6th, but other than that, not much to speak of offensively. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Schaffner trying to make it past one of Virginia's best hitters. Another ground ball, foul. Coach Kirby well beyond the first base coach's box there, making sure he's got a great survey of the entire field. With Teal over at first base, getting his lead. Ground ball left side into the glove of Hefner. 5-4-3. They complete the double play. Off the bat, thought that might get through, but a nice play by Hefner. Quick turn out of second. The throw was a little slow coming over to first. Thought Becker was going to be able to beat it out. Umpires called him out on the field. They are going to take another look at it, though. Under review here. Looking live, thought the ball might have hit the first baseman's mitt just before Becker got his foot to the base, but you say that with the benefit of knowing the call on the field as well. So Becker stays put on the bag at first. It'll either be a fielder's choice or an inning-ending twin killing here for Virginia, and it would really get NC State thinking about a Game 2 victory here. Haven't seen another look at it here to this point, but it would take clear evidence to overturn this one. We had a few reviews yesterday. One on a double play ball as well that went the way of the Cavaliers. That was when Lansendorfer got a couple of double plays to end innings yesterday. Virginia has not indicated that they're going to be taking the field. And the umpires have not indicated that they're ready to rule on this one just yet. Taking a look back at your scoreboard from around the league. Well, some drama in Chapel Hill, but here comes the call, and Becker is out at first base. So just as I got into the score, can let you know that it's tied at 7 over at Boschmer Stadium, not too far from here, between Duke and North Carolina. That game in the bottom of the 10th inning now, in case you're wondering. But the top of the 8th comes to a close here at Doak Field. NC State still on top. 6-2 coming back. Virginia will try to post one more 0 in the bottom of the 8th when we return. Virginia's bullpen has done a nice job of keeping the deficit where it is since that third inning. Unfortunately, NC State's pitching has been just as strong, but Joey Colucci back to the mound here for the 8th inning. He gave up a single last inning, but it's been mostly positive for him. This one driven to right off the bat of Ty Head is into the glove of Henry Ford, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Colucci. So you've got a ground out that ended the 6th inning, 2 strikeouts, another ground out and a fly out, and only 1 single sandwiched between the 2 strikeouts right now for Colucci on the mound. Looking good, the Hartford Community College transfer. This one hit out to left center, and it's going to split the gap. Nunnally's over to it quickly, throws it into second, but sliding in safely is Hogue with another 2-bagger. Already his 3rd of the series and 2nd today. NC State maybe not done yet with the bat in their hands. Nice piece of hitting going the opposite way, barreled it up. Teal nor Nunnally could get to it. 1 on, 1 out now for Chris McHugh, who has driven in 1 run today. He's got 2 singles and an RBI. For McHugh, that brings his total to 36 on the year, leading the pack. A sophomore for State. Colucci eyes the plate. Starts him with a breaking ball and missed inside, apparently, on that breaking ball. It's been looking good for Colucci this season, though, and last inning especially. Got Brandon Novy frozen on it. Here's the 1-0 now. That one grounded past Becker's diving glove. Nunnally up quickly, though. He'll prevent the runner from trying to take home. But that is a single from McHugh just under the glove of Becker out at short. 1st and 3rd. Still just 1 out. You got the cleanup hitter, Alex Sosa, due up now. McHugh, his 3rd hit of the day. And yesterday was 2 for 3, so he's having a great series. Had a home run yesterday as well. With Sosa due up, looks like Coach O'Connor will go to his bullpen once again, because you get the favorable matchup with the lefty against Sosa. Have to think you're going to take it. He struck out 3 times in his first 3 at-bats. Dean Campshire walked him last time up. Now, there are a couple of arms getting loose, so looks like Michael Yeager and Blake Barker are throwing for the Cavaliers here. I'm thinking Barker's going to be the call, and it will be. The lefty coming in to face Alex Sosa. Was this 1 batter and done, or is it Barker trying to get the final 2 outs will be the question. We'll find out when we come back. But it is Blake Barker jogging in from the left field bullpen to replace Joey Colucci. NC State got him for a couple of hits. A double from Hogue, a single from McHugh, 1st and 3rd, 1 out. And Barker on from the pen for Virginia. Coming back in the bottom half of the 8th inning. State leads Virginia 6-2. 2 outs to get for Virginia's bullpen here in the bottom of the 8th inning to give their offense one final chance. They will look to Blake Barker to try to get them. Barker, the senior lefty out of Chardon, Ohio, 10 appearances this season for him. 6.43 ERA across 7 innings, 10 hits allowed, 5 runs, all earned. 11 strikeouts to 7 walks for him this season. Coming on, he'll be facing Alex Sosa with runners at first and third with 1 out here in the inning. Sosa, the batter, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts and a walk. But run scoring opportunity for NC State to pad on some insurance here late. They have not scored since the 3rd inning. Virginia's bullpen has done a great job at keeping the deficit where it is, but in danger of losing it here. Blake Barker, first pitch, called strike. Looked like he started him off speed that time. Barker, a D2 transfer, pitched last year for Virginia. Before that, pitched at Seton Hill University. You've got McHugh over at first base after his single. The pitch to Sosa is a fastball high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sosa, DeCrisio, and Freisman, the 4, 5, and 6 middle of the order for State here. Sosa catching and batting cleanup today. And Barker misses outside. Virginia pitching today. They had 7 walks yesterday. 4 today. Compare that to 7 strikeouts. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count. Barker is outside again. Sosa will certainly be content to draw a walk here. He has walked 19 times this season, so definitely a patient hitter if he does struggle with the strikeouts. 3-1, and he fouls that one away. And getting over towards the left field side. Don't think any car was actually hit there, but guess never say never. Here's the 3-2. This is a big pitch from Barker. First and third, 1 out. Who's need to get back to the dugout and try to mount a response against NC State. Pitch outside, ball 4. Second time Sosa's reached via the walk. That will load the bases here for Justin DeCrisio. So you get the matchup you want. The lefty on lefty, but Barker walks him. You gotta come in and throw strikes. Now a big spot. State could really blow this open with an extra base hit. Virginia already trailing by 4 here in the 8th. They can't afford to give up any more runs. DeCrisio takes a first pitch strike. 91 miles an hour coming in from Barker. 11 strikeouts, now to 8 walks on the season for Barker. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball left side, foul. We've seen a lot of ground balls this weekend, and more than a few have ended up as double plays to end innings. Just saw one last inning from Schaffner when he got Becker to ground out. Last appearance for Barker was against Duke on March 21st, so it's been a few weeks since we've seen game action from Barker. Ground ball out towards short. Hansen's going to field it. Spinning throw to first is on target and in time. That's a heck of a play, but 1 run is going to score from third as Josh Hogue racing home. Both runners go 1 bag more as well. You got McHugh to third, Sosa to second. And now NC State leads by 5. Looks like they put the run up on the wrong side there on the scoreboard. It's 7-2 NC State. Wolfpack back out in front by 5. And this is lined the left side through. One run will score, another behind him. Sosa trotting home as Braden Freisman drives home 2 Wolfpack runners. And the NC State lead balloons now to 9-2. RBIs from DeCrisio and Freisman in the middle of that order. McHugh and Sosa score, 3 runs home. And it's 9-2 Wolfpack. 3 runs have scored this inning. Luke Nixon takes a pitch high. Nixon has been the toughest out today. He has 3 hits, an RBI, and a hit by pitch. So he's 3 for 3. They finally fixed the scoreboard, or at least taking the runs off from Virginia's side now. That's the cheer you hear. Nixon takes in the dirt. Over at first base is Freisman getting his lead. And there we've got the score correct on the board. 9-2 NC State is the score at the moment. 3 runs coming home. Jacob Ferentz wants a word with Blake Barker on the mound. Right now, Barker struggling to throw strikes to these left-handed hitters. Again, the appearances have not been frequent since really the Maryland game. Barker pitched an inning, a third of an inning that game. Since then, only at Cal. He did not get a batter in that one. And then 2/3 of an inning against Duke. Here's the 2-0. Finally gets a strike call there. Came back with the fastball at 92. Best outing last year for Barker came against North Carolina. Pitched a 3 1/3 shutout appearance. That went outside against North Carolina last year. That's his career-long outing as a Cavalier. Misses outside to Nixon, and that is ball 3. Got to find the zone here. Nixon will be on board again. And he doesn't. It's ball 4. Everybody was waiting to see what the call was going to be. Nixon started the hands. Wells held it for a moment, but it is ball 4. And Coach O'Connor is quick back out to the mound. He doesn't even wait to get to the mound before pointing out to the bullpen, and he needs another arm in. I believe I saw Michael Yeager throwing out in the bullpen most recently. That would be the freshman righty who's only made 1 appearance this season for Virginia. Pitched against Duke a couple of weekends ago, and it does indeed look like it'll be number 35, Michael Yeager, coming into the game. So Virginia has let things balloon here with 3 runs from the pack in the bottom of the 8th. It's a 7-run NC State lead, 9-2. New pitcher coming in for Virginia when we return here at Doak Field in Raleigh. Opportunity for a freshman right-hander, Michael Yeager, into the game now for Virginia. And the 6'3" righty from Greenwich, Connecticut, out of the Brunswick School, will throw here with 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning, just trying to keep the deficit at 7 now. But 2 on and 2 outs for Brandon Novy. Here's the first pitch from Yeager, breaking ball, too far outside. In his 1 appearance, Michael Yeager pitched 1 inning. He struck out 1 batter, walked 3, allowed 2 runs, but neither were earned, only allowed 1 hit. Novy, the number 8 hitter, the DH, takes 92 on the edge of the zone, 1-1. That 1 outing for Michael Yeager came a couple of weeks ago. That was against the Duke Blue Devils in the Saturday contest. That's a strike on the outside corner as well. So Virginia going deep into the bullpen. You want to keep some options for tomorrow. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Novy. He started the hands, no swing, says the first base umpire. Would have been a nice pick-me-up for the Cavaliers if they got that call. When Michael Yeager against Duke on March 22nd was his last appearance and only appearance in a Cavalier uniform in a college baseball game even. But getting an opportunity here, can he get his team out of the frame? 2-2, good pitch, but just off the edge. 92 again, and he put it where Novy couldn't do anything with it. Looked like a pretty good one, but doesn't get the call. Looked like it was probably a couple inches outside. Wells tried to help him out. Now here's the 3-2. Runner goes, and that one is fouled away. Runners go, I should say. You've got Freisman out at second, Nixon at first. 3 runs, RBIs from Justin DeCrisio and Braden Freisman. Blake Barker came in to get Alex Sosa, walked him, got DeCrisio to ground out, but it scored a run, and then a single from Freisman. That one gets by Wells, but it's not going to matter because it's ball 4. Yeager will come to the plate. But all runners advance. And now if you're Virginia, that puts the winning run on base. It had been a 4-run game for most of this game, but now with the bases loaded and Matt Hevner due up, if that runner from first scores, this ball game is over. It'll be a 10-run rule here in the 8th inning. Matt Hevner will attempt to keep the offense going for NC State. He gets started with a fastball from Yeager. This is the 9th batter of the inning, 2nd time. NC State has sent 9 batters to the plate today. As Hevner 0 for 4, but did reach on an error back in the 2nd and scored. Good job by Trey Wells to turn the mitt over there because he probably prevented a run from scoring as that pitch was low and away in the dirt. Yeager, the walk to Novy, got to find the zone. Freisman over at third, Nixon at second, Novy at first. Here's the 1-1. High and out of the zone, 2-1. Nobody else throwing for Virginia, it looks like, so I imagine Coach O'Connor is either going to let this game run out or hope Yeager can get him out of it. Got to find the zone, though, if you're Michael Yeager, the freshman from Greenwich, Connecticut. And again, it's too high, 3-1. 91, got good velocity for a young arm. Right now, needs to locate it. 3 walks in 1 inning in his first appearance, so kind of shows maybe where he's working at the moment. 3-1, popped up to left. It's shallow, but Nunnally able to get underneath it. Sounded like that one was off the end of the bat. And Michael Yeager does get his team back to the dugout. But NC State has stretched its lead. It's now a 7-run pack advantage, and Virginia 3 outs to try and make it up. They've done it before, but a tough pitcher on the mound, and Andrew Schaffner. We'll see what the Cavaliers have in store for the top of the 9th inning when we return. Ninth inning, do or die here for the Cavaliers. Down 7, Henry Ford leading off, and he'll take a first pitch strike. Breaking ball for Schaffner, who's thrown 22 pitches today. Well, at the very least right now, Virginia, if you're thinking about the long game here, Schaffner misses outside there. You'd at least hope you can get that pitch count up for Schaffner just a bit, and maybe you don't have to face him tomorrow. He's thrown 2 innings of scoreless ball. Cavaliers are going to try not to make it 3. That's a breaking ball in for a called strike. Ford didn't like it, but it is 1-2. Ford an RBI double his last time up, but needs to set the table for the Hoos here. The 1-2. Good take. He thought about offering at the slider. They appeal down to first, but no swing. I'm not even sure they needed the appeal, but Sosa wanted to make sure. You give him credit, trying to help his pitcher out, get his numbers up, but that was nowhere close to a swing. 2-2 now to Schaffner, and Ford fouls it away. Ripped one into the gap his last time up, out to right center, rolled all the way to the bullpen door there for State. They do have an arm getting loose, but I would imagine it's Schaffner or bust right now. Ford stays alive again. You can see some of the nasty movement on those pitches from Schaffner, but that's a breaking ball that he can only get a piece of. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's been a steady wind blowing in for most of the day, although it didn't affect Justin DeCricio's home run earlier. Ford takes high. That's ball 3. Only home run we've seen today. That was from DeCricio way back in the 2nd inning. Saw a bunch last night. Here's the payoff pitch, and he gets Ford swinging on a great 3-2 slider that just disappeared off the edge. Schaffner's 4th strikeout, and there's one away here for Virginia, and it looks like we've got a pinch hitter here for the Cavaliers, as Antonio Parada comes on to pinch hit here for Chris Arroyo, getting an at-bat late in the game. Parada takes a breaking ball, called strike. Parada has 4 at-bats this season, doesn't have a hit, but has scored a run. He's drawn a walk. He takes another strike. 0-2 here from Schaffner. Cavaliers got a little something going in the 6th inning after scoring in the 1st, but the offense has been hard to come by today for Virginia. The 0-2, breaking ball outside that time. Some State fans want to get home a little earlier, apparently, after that last call. 1-2. High and outside. Antonio Parada from Rockville, Maryland. 6'4", standing in the left-handed batter's box. Out of Georgetown Prep, the number 3 overall player in the state of Maryland and the state's top first baseman of 2023. Ground ball up the middle, spinning throw by DeCrisio, one hop to McHugh, and they get Parada hustling down the line. DeCrisio robs Antonio Parada of his first hit in 2025 on a nice play. 2 outs now in the frame. Schaffner 30 pitches, now 35, excuse me, the scoreboard just updated in the stats. 5-pitch AB from Parada there. So Godbout, last chance for the Hoos, takes outside, 1-0. You wonder what the limit would be. The thing is, Schaffner has not faced much pressure in this game, only 1 base runner for Virginia when he's been in the game. That's a strike, so it's been relatively stress-free for him. And right after that single, they got a 5-4-3 double play as well. This is another single off the bat of Henry Godbout this time. The game will continue for at least 1 batter more. Godbout picking up his first hit of the day. 1 for 4 now. He stands at first base, and if you're going to get the at-bats, you might as well make them count. That's what Godbout does there. But it will take a monster comeback here from the Cavaliers if they want to make up this 7-run deficit. Starts with a single there from Godbout. Can Trey Wells continue it? Schaffner out of the stretch only for the 2nd time now. This one popped up towards right. It's drifting towards that construction zone and will get out of play. The wall there past the NC State first base dugout cuts back in towards the field at an angle, so Wells cleared that and hit it onto the big dirt pile that's over there right now. 0-1. Wells struck out looking in his only at bat today. Jacob Farron started catching, was 0 for 2. Wells, swing tipped into the mitt of Alex Sosa. Cavaliers down to their final strike. Trey Wells batting .316, coming into today's game as 12 starts and 13 appearances. Just trying to keep the game going here. 0-2 Schaffner gets him swinging. Ball game over. Another slider that looked pretty. And that wraps this one up from Doak Field, NC State. The victors in this one. Final score, Wolfpack 9, Virginia 2. That'll do it for our broadcast here as well. Thanks for tuning in here for our audio broadcast of Virginia baseball as they fall in Game 2 to the NC State Wolfpack. But it sets up an exciting rubber match tomorrow on Sunday, 3 o'clock start. You can listen to that call back on News Radio WINA. But for today, I'm Adam Haas signing off. Thanks for listening in to Virginia baseball. Final score, NC State 9, Virginia 2. Rubber match tomorrow at 3 o'clock here in Raleigh. Thanks for listening.